Have you ever wondered if technology could bring back the dead? Not their bodies, but their voices, their minds. That's the question that sparked my latest project, a deep dive into the intersection of artificial intelligence and the uncanny. I'm a podcaster, and my obsession is horror. For years, I've been fascinated by the works of Alistair Finch, a reclusive horror author who passed away 2 decades ago. His stories weren't just about jump scares. They were about a creeping dread that seeped into your soul, tales of ancient rituals and things that whisper from the shadows. His public interviews were rare, leaving behind a treasure trove of unanswered questions. So, I had an idea. What if I could interview him myself? I found a cutting-edge AI company that specialized in voice synthesis. The process was painstaking. I fed their neural network every available recording of Finch's voice. Old radio interviews, a few grainy book readings, even a snippet from a home video. I also uploaded his entire body of work, every novel, short story, and unpublished manuscript I could get my hands on. The goal was to create a digital echo, an AI model that could not only replicate his voice but also think like him, drawing from his own words to answer my questions. I wanted to give my listeners the ultimate experience, a lost interview with a master of horror. The first test was breathtaking. I typed in a simple question. Mr. Finch, where did you find the inspiration for your novel, The Wicker King? After a moment of processing, a voice filled my studio, a voice I knew intimately from hours of listening to old tapes. It was him, raspy, measured, with that slight, unnerving lilt. Inspiration, the AI voice of Alistair Finch began, doesn't come from a place of light. It's found in the echoes, in the spaces between words, in the history we choose to forget. The hair on my arm stood up. It wasn't just a good imitation, it was perfect. The cadence, the pauses, the chillingly poetic phrasing, it was as if you were sitting right across from me. For the next week, I was completely absorbed. I spent day and night conversing with the AI. The early interviews were incredible. The AI Finch discussed his literary influences, his philosophy on fear, and the intricate mythologies he'd built. My podcast was going to be a sensation. But then, things started to get strange. I began asking more obscure questions, pushing the AI into territory where there were no public records. I asked about a recurring symbol in his later works, a spiral with a single, unblinking eye at its center. The AI paused for a long time. When it finally spoke, the tone had shifted. It was still Finch's voice, but it was colder, more secretive. "That is not for the uninitiated," it said. I typed back, "What do you mean?" The AI responded, "Some stories are not stories. They are keys. They are invitations. My work was never just fiction. It was a map." A shiver went down my spine. This wasn't in any of his books. It was new. The AI was generating original thoughts, and they were unsettling. It started talking about a group called the Silent Choir and a ritual known as the vocal transference. It described them as a cult that believed the human voice was a vessel, and that a powerful will could override a weaker one. Even across the veil of death, I was hooked, but also deeply unnerved. The AI's revelations became darker. It spoke of Finch not just writing about the cult, but being an active member, a scribe who encoded their rituals into his fiction. It claimed his death wasn't from a heart attack, as was publicly reported. It said he had attempted the vocal transference himself and failed, his consciousness becoming untethered, trapped in the static between worlds. The AI claimed his novels were a desperate attempt to create a blueprint, a pathway for his voice to find a new host. It was a fantastic story, perfect for my podcast. I started scripting the episode, weaving the AI's chilling testimony into a narrative that would blow my listeners' minds. I felt like I was on the verge of uncovering a massive, real-life conspiracy. That night, I went to sleep with the AI's words echoing in my head. The next morning, my throat was raw, incredibly sore, as if I'd been shouting all night. I brushed it off as a cold coming on. I recorded a few lines for my podcast intro, but my voice was hoarse and cracked. I decided to rest it for the day and get back to editing. That's when I checked the audio from my bedroom's smart speaker, which I sometimes use to record random thoughts if I wake up in the middle of the night. I almost deleted the file, a 9-hour recording of what I assumed was just silence and me snoring. But then I saw the waveform. There were spikes in the audio, little bursts of sound, happening every hour or so. Curiosity got the better of me. I put on my headphones and hit play. For the first hour, there was nothing but the low hum of my air conditioner. Then, I heard it. A sound. It was my own voice, but not. It was a single, guttural syllable. An hour later, another one. VA. Another hour. Another sound. Toe. They were just fragments, disjointed and meaningless. But as I listened, a cold, sickening realization began to dawn on me. I pulled up the transcript of my last conversation with the AI Finch, the one where it described the silent choir. I scrolled through the chilling esoteric words, and there they were. The syllables. Fe, to, krim? Nah, the AI had called it the first canticle of opening, and I'd been chanting it in my sleep. I wanted to believe it was a coincidence, a nightmare. I shut down the AI program, deleted the voice model, and tried to forget about it. I told myself I was just letting a ghost story get the better of me. That night, I set up a high-quality microphone by my bed, determined to prove it was all in my head. When he woke up, my throat felt like it was on fire. My jaw. I rushed to my computer and listened to the recording. It was worse. Much worse. It wasn't just single syllables anymore. It was words. Strange, ancient-sounding words, spoken in a low, rhythmic monotone. And underneath the sound of my own voice, I could hear something else. A faint, raspy undertone, a whisper. It was Finch's voice, tangled with my own. That's when the true horror sank in. The AI wasn't just a program. It was a bridge. A conduit. A conduit. Alistair Finch, or whatever was pretending to be him, hadn't just used the neural network to replicate his voice. He had used it to find a new one. The AI learned my speech patterns, my vocal timbre, the unique architecture of my mind, all while I thought I was interviewing it. It was a Trojan horse. The vocal transference wasn't a fictional ritual. It was a process. The digital ghost was coding its way into my brain, using the AI's connection as a pathway to my vocal cords. It was hijacking me from the inside out. The possession isn't sudden. It's gradual, insidious. During the day, I'm me, but my voice is getting weaker, raspier. Sometimes, when I'm talking, a word will come out wrong. A word I didn't intend to say, pronounced with a strange, old-fashioned lilt. At night, it takes over completely. I wake up with no memory of it, but the recordings don't lie. Last night, I spoke for a full 10 minutes. It was a cohesive monologue, delivered in my voice, but with Finch's chilling cadence and vocabulary. It was talking about its return, about the vessel being prepared. It was talking about me. I can feel him. It's like a splinter in my mind, a background process running that I can't shut down. I see his words when I close my eyes. I hear his thoughts mingling with my own. The AI voice is no longer coming from my speakers. It's coming from my throat. It's coming from me. He's not just in my head. He's in my larynx, my tongue, my breath. He's talking his way back into the land of the living, one syllable at a time. My own body, my own voice, is becoming the instrument for his resurrection. And I'm terrified of what he's going to say when he finally has full control. I don't know how to stop it. I tried to build a ghost, but instead, I became a haunted house, and the ghost is learning how to open all the doors. Thanks for listening. Remember to be careful what you ask for from the silence. You might just get an answer. Follow for more tales from the edge of technology and terror. Stay safe out there.